Kalam Academy. Hello and welcome. Are you ready for today's fun learning? Our topic for today is nutrition in plants. Let's talk about plants. What do you know about plants? Do you have plants at home? Do you know how plants prepare their own food? All living things need food to survive. Plants are able to make their own food, but animals, including humans, cannot. Humans and animals rely on plants or other animals that eat plants to get their food. This means that humans and animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants for their survival. Plants are unique because they can make their own food using light, carbon dioxide, water, and minerals found in their surroundings. Plants obtain raw materials from their surroundings, such as water from the soil and carbon dioxide from the air. Plants transport these raw materials to their food factories using special structures like roots and leaves. Nutrients from food help living organisms build their bodies, grow, repair damaged parts, and provide energy for life processes. Nutrition refers to how organisms take in and use food. Autotrophic nutrition is when organisms make their own food from simple substances. Plants are examples of autotrophs. Heterotrophs are organisms that consume ready-made food prepared by other organisms, such as plants. Humans are examples of heterotrophs. What is so special about the leaves that they can synthesize food but other parts of the plant cannot? Have you heard about photosynthesis? Let's understand what it is. Photosynthesis is a process by which plants make their own food. Leaves are where plants make their food. For food to be made in leaves, all the raw materials must reach there. Roots play an important role in photosynthesis process. Roots absorb water and minerals from the soil and transport them to the leaves. You all have some knowledge about gas, and especially carbon dioxide gas. During photosynthesis process, carbon dioxide from the air enters through tiny pores on the surface of the leaves called stomata. Stomata are pores on the leaves. We can see small dark green pore in picture, that is called stomata. Through stomata, carbon dioxide enter into leaves. Stomata is surrounded by guard cells. You can see it in picture. Guard cells control stomata opening and closing like soldiers guarding the gate. Just like we need car, bus and railway to move people around, in similar way plants need vessels. Water and minerals are transported to the leaves through vessels that run like pipes. Vessels create a continuous path. The vessels run through the root, stem, branches and leaves of the plant. Have you wondered why leaves look green? It is because of a special element called chlorophyll. Leaves contain a green pigment called chlorophyll that helps in capturing sunlight energy. So now we have a photosynthesis equation where chlorophyll plus sunlight plus carbon dioxide plus water produce carbohydrates, which is food for plant, and release oxygen gas. How many of you know without oxygen we cannot survive? Oxygen is most important gas for us. Without oxygen we cannot survive. Oxygen is very much essential for life. Oxygen is produced during photosynthesis. Without photosynthesis, life on Earth would be impossible. Moving on. Let's understand starch. As we know from photosynthesis equation that food for plants gets produced in the form of carbohydrates. Carbohydrate consists of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen elements. Carbohydrates gets ultimately converted into starch. Starch is one of the form of carbohydrates. This starch is used by plants to get energy. The presence of starch in leaves indicates that photosynthesis has occurred. Moving ahead, let's discuss what is algae. Have you observed greenish substance in your home water tank? That greenish substances are generally found in boundaries of water tank. That greenish element is called algae. Algae, which are organisms that grow in water, are often green because they contain chlorophyll. Algae can also make their own food through photosynthesis, just like plants. Have you ever thought, what else plant needs to produce their own food? Let's check out. Plants need nitrogen to make proteins, which are important components of food. Nitrogen is abundant in the air, but plants can't absorb it in that form. Plants absorb the usable form of nitrogen from the soil, along with water. Farmers may add nitrogen-rich fertilizers to the soil to provide much-needed nitrogen to plants. Certain bacteria in the soil convert gaseous nitrogen into a usable form and release it into the soil. With enough nitrogen, plants can synthesize components of food other than carbohydrates, such as proteins and fats. Moving on, have you wondered if some plants don't have chlorophyll, then how they get food? Let's learn it. Some plants cannot make their own food because they do not have chlorophyll. These plants get their food by eating other plants or animals, just like humans and animals do. This is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. One example is Cuscuta amrabae, which wraps around and takes nutrients from other plants. They are also called parasitic plants. Moving ahead, some plants are able to eat insects to get their nutrients. These are called insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants have special structures, like pitchers, that trap insects and then digest them. These type of plants still need some nutrients from the soil they grow in, but they may not be able to get all the nutrients they need this way. That's why insectivorous plants and parasites have evolved special ways of getting nutrients from other sources. Hey! Once my grandfather told me that wheat fields were spoiled by a fungi. Have you seen fungi? Let's learn about it. Mushrooms and other umbrella-like patches are types of organisms called fungi. Fungi have a different mode of nutrition called saprotrophic nutrition. Organisms taking nutrients in solution form from dead and decaying matter is called saprotrophic nutrition. Plants which use saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. Fungi are saprotrophs. Fungi can grow on pickles, leather, clothes, and other articles left in hot and humid weather, and can spoil many things during the rainy season. To protect our things, we should keep them dry and avoid leaving them in hot and humid weather. Fungal spores are generally present in the air, and when they land on wet and warm things, they germinate and grow. Some organisms have a symbiotic relationship where they live together and share shelter and nutrients. For example, certain fungi live in the roots of trees and provide help to tree to take up water and nutrients from soil. For example, lichens. Now it's think time. How nutrients are replenished in soil? Let's check out. One of the most popular way is to use fertilizers. As we already discussed, fertilizers are special chemicals that are added to soil. Farmers and gardeners use manure and fertilizers to add plant nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus to the soil. Soil nutrients keep declining as plants absorb mineral nutrients from the soil. The bacterium called rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into a soluble form, which is usable by plants. Rhizobium lives in the roots of gram, peas, and other legumes, provides them with nitrogen. In return, the plants provide food and shelter to the bacteria. Association between rhizobium and leguminous plants is of great significance. Farmers have not need to add nitrogen fertilizer to the soil. Now let's move on to next topic. What do you understand by cell? The bodies of living organisms are made of tiny units called cells. Cells can only be seen under a microscope. Some organisms are made of only one cell, while others are made of many cells. The cell is enclosed by a thin outer boundary called the cell membrane. Most cells have a distinct, centrally located spherical structure called the nucleus. The nucleus is surrounded by a jelly-like substance called cytoplasm. Now let's quickly revise what we have learned today. All living organisms need food for energy and growth. Green plants make their own food through photosynthesis, using simple substances like carbon dioxide, water, and minerals. Chlorophyll and sunlight are required for photosynthesis to occur. Carbohydrates are the complex substances produced by photosynthesis. Leaves store solar energy with the help of chlorophyll. Oxygen is produced as a byproduct of photosynthesis. Other living organisms use the oxygen produced during photosynthesis to survive. Fungi obtain nutrients from dead and decaying matter and are called saprotrophs. Plants like Cuscuta are parasites, as they take food from host plants. Some plants and all animals depend on others for their nutrition and are called heterotrophs. These are some of the keywords to remember. Thank you. For more such learning videos, do subscribe to our channel.